What's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're starting a new series. As you guys know, the beta for Black Ops Cold War drops on October 17th on PS4. So until then, we're going to utilize this time to prepare for Cold War SnD. Alright, so the plan is basically going to be that we're going to play 1v1 search and destroys. You know, we're going to do it just like normal. We're going to break down the gameplay. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm thinking while I'm playing. But we're going to play every single COD that we can get our hands on. We're going to talk about, break down the comparisons between that game and what we know about Cold War. That way I can get you guys all prepared to destroy in Search and Destroy as soon as Cold War comes out. So what better way to start episode 1 of the series up with Modern Warfare, okay? So we just spent the whole year playing Modern Warfare. In this video, I'm going to present it to you regular 1v1 style, but we're going to put an emphasis on the differences between MW and Cold War. What we know, how you can practice in the meantime to get prepared to play some Search and Destroy in Cold War. Alright, real quick before we get started with the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that 54% of you who are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you find yourself coming back, enjoying the content, drop a sub. It really helps me out a lot. I have a bunch of crazy cool stuff planned for you guys for Cold War. I'm bringing you guys ultimate Cold War SnD guide, map breakdowns, rush routes, crosses, nade spots. We're going to cover everything for you guys. So if any of that sounds good to you, drop a like on the video, drop a comment, drop a sub. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so in the background we have a 1v1 match I played in Modern Warfare on Gunrunner. Pretty intense search and destroy match, so just enjoy that in the background. But what I really want to focus on today is all the differences that we have between Cold War and MW and how we can utilize this past year we've spent playing Modern Warfare to prepare us for search and destroy in Cold War. Alright, so I think that one of the most important things that we need to focus on are the perk differences between Cold War and Modern Warfare. So in Modern Warfare, we had the ability to run EOD in our perk 1 slot and Battle Hardened in our perk 3 slot. So we were able to be protected from nades and stuns at the same time. However, after the multiplayer reveal, we know that the perks in Cold War are going to have Tac Mask and Flat Jacket, which are the EOD and Battle Hardened equivalents, in the same perk slot, which means you'll have to make a strategic decision, you know, whether you want to play the round out being protected from stuns or being protected from nades. And I think this is really interesting because it allows for a lot more variety in the game, because you can pretty much assume that in that perk 1 slot, you're almost always going to be running Flat Jacket or Tac Mask. So you're going to be protected from stuns or nades, one or the other. While in Modern Warfare, you could be protected from both at the same time, but you could also be protected from none of them. You could run double time to run quicker in your perk 1 slot instead of EOD, and you could run tune-up instead of Battle Hardened in your perk 3 slot, which would allow you to get your Dead Silence a little bit quicker. And just because of the nature of Dead Silence as a field upgrade in general, I think it's going to make these changes to Cold War really refreshing. So basically what you need to take away from that is just that you're going to have to make a decision when you're creating all your classes if you're going to want to run Tac Mask or Flat Jacket if you want to be protected from nades or stuns. And that's going to depend a lot on what the enemy team is doing. So I don't know if you can edit your classes like you can in Modern Warfare during the game, but definitely make a couple of pre-made classes just to prepare for a situation. A generally good team comp will have a mix of nades and stuns so that no matter what, the enemy is choosing, that, you have a chance to catch them out with a nade or a stun. But besides that, just, allow yourself to have some adjustment. Make a couple extra classes that will allow you to adapt to any situation. And I think that actually transitions us pretty well into the next topic I want to cover, which is going to be, the new changes to Dead Silence. We spent this entire last year having Dead Silence be a field upgrade, so you have to earn a meter over time in order to use Dead Silence as an ability. And from the multiplayer reveal, we know that we are getting Dead Silence as a perk. It's in the perk 3 slot. It's actually called Ninja this year. And, that's obviously really good news, because I think that the decision to make Dead Silence a field upgrade has made Modern Warfare a lot slower in Search and Destroy than it needs to be. Sound whoring is going to be pretty powerful in COD. It's one of the staples of the game. So I know that the developers, they want to put an emphasis on that. They want to make sure that you're rewarded for, listening, for having a good headset. But in Search and Destroy, it encourages really slow play, a lot of camping. So I'm really excited to see the plays people are able to make without having to be worried so much about, their footsteps being heard. We did also get a confirmation that Ninja is not going to allow you to be completely silent. It will allow you to move much quieter. So I think that, you're not going to be able to hear everything, but if you're stomping around, not playing very smart, you still have a chance for the enemy to potentially hear you. So definitely keep that in mind. Be prepared to, not be able to rely as much on your headset and a little bit more on gunplay and strategy to win your rounds in S&D for Cold War. Something else I want to touch on pretty quickly is that there has been a change to the kill streak system from Modern Warfare to Cold War. Obviously, in most of the competitive rule sets we played this year in Modern Warfare, really the only thing you could run was like a specialist bonus, which is actually really useful. If you're kind of on a roll, you have more perks, and it allows you to play a lot smarter, a lot faster. But in Cold War, we have score streaks, and they actually do not reset upon death. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see in Search and Destroy, considering you're supposed to have 1 life per round, but even if you die, you don't get all the way set back. There's a couple things they put in place to not make this completely broken, but I'm interested to see what happens if over the course of a long game, everyone starts getting their score streaks, if they allow score streaks at all. And how that's going to potentially affect the gameplay. So that's just something I would keep in mind. There's not a whole lot that you can do to prepare for that, but it could lead to some interesting strategy, choosing your score streaks wisely and maybe changing the course of a game just by, getting a lot of score. It's going to put some good emphasis on the bomb planter, so those more OBJ-centric players might have the ability to impact the game even more by getting as much score as possible between all the rounds. So that's just something to keep in mind. And we can move on to talking about a topic I bet you guys are pretty excited about, and that is going to be snipers in Cold War. So we did get a confirmation that quick scoping is pretty powerful, not broken as it's been in some games in the past. And obviously we're only dealing with alpha level gameplay here, but there also is a sniper glint. So, that might counter it to a certain degree. I'm not saying that people are going to be quick scoping in all your game battles games, but snipers could be really powerful. I'm excited to see how they're played. Not so much for 1v1 Search and Destroy, but one good sniper on a 3v3 or a 4v4 game battles team can really, make or break it. Like, having a sniper on the enemy team that's good forces you to completely change the entire way that you play. So I am super excited to see what sniper rifles are going to bring to Cold War. I would say that if you are going to pick up some players that you want to play together, I would say try to get at least one guy who's pretty good at sniping, because that just gives you a massive advantage. This past year in Modern Warfare, running the AX50 or the HDR can really make a massive difference on a map like Arklov Peak, on St. Petrograd. So I'm super interested to see what that's going to bring for Cold War. Okay, so now I kind of want to talk a little bit about what I think might be banned going into Black Ops Cold War. So I didn't get to see a lot of gameplay on the thermal sight, but I know that it can be pretty powerful. And from what I've seen with some of these Cold War maps, some of them are pretty dark, some of them are pretty big maps. A thermal sniper or a thermal AR could be really powerful, so that could potentially be banned in some rule sets. And if you want to protect yourself from thermal, if it's allowed, you're going to have to give up Ninja in exchange for cold-blooded. But that could be really good for thermal sniping across crosses for some maps in Cold War. In addition to that, we also got a confirmation that the Pick 10 system from previous Treyarch games is not back. So we have a similar create a class system to what we have in Modern Warfare. We actually have field upgrades. Again, in the alpha, we saw a look at the proximity mine, the SAM turret, the jammer, and the field mic. Probably going to be banned outright in this game. I don't think that those are going to serve much of a purpose. Proximity mine sounds kind of like a claymore. Those are usually always banned. Field mic allows you to have people who the field mic is close to put on the minimap. I think that's obviously going to be just taken out completely. So I'm not planning on seeing any of those in most competitive rule sets, but what is going to be interesting is that we have these wild cards. The ones that we got to see in the alpha were Danger Close, Lawbreaker, Gunfighter, and Perk Greed. So Danger Close allowing you to carry an extra lethal, that'll probably get taken out. And Lawbreaker is basically a modified version of Overkill, which should probably be taken out. I think that if you make the decision to pull a sniper out, you should be forced to run a pistol and not have a submachine gun in your back pocket. But what I am kind of interested to see is if they allow Gunfighter and Perk Greed, because Gunfighter allows you to have 3 more attachments on your gun, which could be really good, especially when you also have the option to run Perk Greed, which allows you to run 3 extra perks. So right now I'm kind of thinking that Perk Greed might be better for submachine gun players, bomb carrying players, so that they can have a little bit of extra utility when they're going around the map. And those slower players are probably going to want more attachments on their gun to help control recoil across long gunfights and stuff like that. So that could be some interesting strategy if the greeds don't also get banned out completely. So I'm interested to see exactly what goes on with all that in Cold War. We have a similar attachment system to what we have in Modern Warfare. Like I said previously, you get 5 attachments on your gun. I'm sure it's going to have the positive and negative benefits effect where, a certain attachment will, give you a couple of advantages, but potentially bring you a disadvantage or two, and you'll have to really play with the attachments to see what's going to be good. And I think that's going to basically wrap up the video there. So there's a couple more things that I would like to talk about. Describing the differences between MW and Cold War. We don't have any official SnD gameplay yet, but I do kind of want to talk about what I think might be good team composition-wise, as far as bringing a sniper to the team, 2 ARs, 2 subs, stuff like that. The transition from 5v5 to 4v4. We also got an official confirmation that the CDL decided to go with PC and controller instead of PS5 for next year. So that obviously is going to be really important for the SnD scene. So if you guys want me to cover anything else like that, just let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you guys have a good one.